Well, let's just take this moment to do a spiritual mind treatment. Relax a little. Just keep your feet on the floor and take a deep breath. Just breathe in today, this beautiful day, this day that has been created, and we are creating in it. So I know there's only one originating spirit right here in this room, in us, around us, and through us, and we are it. So I use the I word for you when I say I am one with this all-originating spirit. I am creating and creative, and at my core, I am it. It is me. We're one. There's never any separation. There never can be and never will be. So I am creative, and today I create good. I create peace and love and joy and harmony, because that's who I am at my core. So today is a wonderful day for being and being and being. Just be. Just be. So I speak these words for each of us when I say, I declare my perfect health, my wonderful, loving relationships, my unending prosperity. I have money to share and money to spare. And I am creating and creative. I'm worthy. So I say yes to all creation. I accept it now. So today and every day I go forward, evolving and raising up and giving and receiving. So I give great gratitude for this day and every day. I give great gratitude for Spirit in me, as me, and through me. So I release my word. I know it's acted upon as I have spoken it. I know it is so, and together we say, so it is. Well, good morning, and I'm going to turn it over to our musicians here, Andrea, Lane, and Billy.
Good morning. Good morning. How y'all doing today? You got that extra hour of sleep, huh?
Yeah.
Everybody, get up on your feet, see the light. Everybody you meet, everybody, get up on your feet, see the light. Everybody you meet, let us be reminded of who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Everybody, get up on your feet, see the light. Everybody you meet, everybody, get up on your feet, see the light. Everybody you meet, let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound, here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound, here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, hey, hey. Everybody, get up on your feet, see the light. Everybody you meet, everybody, get up on your feet, see the light. Everybody you meet, let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, 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 hey.
Thank you. I Andrea and Billy. Thanks. So, good morning, and thank you to the musicians. And I just want to welcome you all to Carlsbad Center for Spiritual Living, where we teach and believe that there's a power for good in the universe, and you can use it. So, candle lighting, I'd like to invite Morgan up. To light our candles. Okay. We light the candle for life. Life is everywhere present, flowing through each and every one of us. There's only one life. Life is God's life. That life is our life, my life now. So please affirm with me, I am life. I am life. We light the candle for love. The birth of love happens within each one of us every time we make room for the Christ consciousness in our hearts and recognize our unity. We're points of love within the heart of God. So please affirm with me, I am love. We light the candle for light. The light of God is the presence and the power, and we're always walking in the light. We radiate the light of God wherever we are. So please affirm with me, I am light. We light the candle for beauty. We're made in the likeness and image of God. We're each whole, complete, beautiful, just as we are. We accept the beauty of God's perfection as our perfection now. So please affirm with me, I am beauty. We light the candle for joy. Joy is the very nature of spirit and the true essence of each of us. We celebrate the joy of our own rebirth in God consciousness. We each bring joy to the world. So please affirm with me, I am joy. We light the candle for peace. Today and every day we open our hearts to peace. We are each a center of peace in the world. So please affirm with me, I am peace. Thank you, Morgan. And finally, I invite you to take a moment to recognize your own inner light that is always shining within. And we take a moment to honor our own metaphysical path of wholeness, oneness, and mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. Thank you. So, a few announcements. Today is birthday Sunday, and we do have, I know, one person. Where is he? Is he
right there?
You're a November baby too?
Today?
Oh, today?
Yay!
So, November birthday, and where's your son? He's on the back, his birthday too. So let's do a little happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Yes. Okay. So, a few more announcements. Join us for fellowship afterwards. We have a big cake. Thank you, Julia.
Boy, I'm glad you got a big one, not a
So every Sunday we do spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer as a gift to you. So if you would like a prayer treatment, please ask one of us. Let's see a showing of hand who's here ready to do prayer treatments today. Okay. And if you don't want a prayer treatment today, but you'd like a treatment, and please fill out the form in the lobby. We'll be happy to have the prayer team do prayer work for you this week. So, and other announcements. Today, Class 5, Module 5 of Consciousness and the Creative Process will meet in this room after fellowship. I think that's all the announcements we have. So now it's time to say thank you for today's volunteers. Ruth Ann.
Wow.
Thank you, Ruth Ann, for the gorgeous flowers. And I'm going to say thank you to Robert for greeting. And thank you to Jim for setting up the book table. And thank you to Julie for the cake. And thank you to Kate. She brought some treats for the class. And thank you, Larry, for the video recording. Angel is not here, but we thank him too for setting up.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we have, now's our time for the group reading. If you have your program, let's read it together. God is all, visible and invisible, one presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect love and perfect abundance. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect abundance. So, group song.
Yeah.
Yes, please stand if you like.
We're going to do I Release and Let Go
Love this song.
by Ricky Byers.
My favorite song.
Hey! I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release, I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for what? Yes, what? Only here for God. Yay!
Should we sit down?
Thank you, Andrea and Billy. And now it is time to turn the page. Yes. Okay, our inspirational reading, Jan Green.
Yay, Jan.
Where's the other hand?
Microphone.
Where?
Anyway.
Turn it a little bit. Yep, turn it on. Push the button. Close your screen.
This reading is from Reverend Nina Russell, a retired divine science minister from Louisiana. Although we are all on the spiritual path, we are each at different levels. Think of a tall, four-sided mountain. On one side is a vast ocean. The opposite side has a desert. On the third side has a dense forest. On the fourth side has a prairie. As each person climbs the mountain of spirituality, he only sees his side. This is all that exists for him, and he will argue the point when necessary. When he gradually ascends, he begins to get glimpses of another side until it finally comes into view. He keeps climbing, and suddenly he gets glimpses of a third side, and he's thrilled. The world is much larger than he ever imagined. He yells his discovery down to the people, and they reject his new viewpoint, saying he's hallucinating, as all they can see is one side. Finally, when he gets to the peak, he sees all four sides, a panoramic view, and he has the realization that each side is but a part of the whole. He is elated at his new understanding. And so it is with us. Our views, our understandings are limited by the height of our consciousness. We need to honor those who are above us, learn from them, and pass on what we have to those who are below us, making us a link in the chain of golden wisdom. The affirmation is, I am open to receive wisdom and share my understanding with compassion.
That was very good.
Thank you, Gina.
Turn it off.
Okay. Thank you. And we have one more musical selection.
For you, there'll be no more crying. For you, the sun will be shining. And I feel that when I'm with you, it's alright. I know it's right. To you, I give the world. To you, I'll never be cold. 'Cause I feel when I'm with you, it's alright. I know it's right. I'm a songbird singing like they know the score. And I love you, I love you, I love you like never before. Ooh. And I wish you all the love in the world, but most of all, I wish it from myself. And the songbird singing like they know the score. And I love you, I love you like never before. Like never before. Like never before.
Thank you both. That was beautiful. Thank you. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce our speaker, Reverend Kate DuVivier.
Do a good job.
I'm going to do my best. Thank you, Elaine, for the cheering on and the good wishes. So good morning, happy November. Wasn't it great to get an extra hour of sleep? I always like that. It's like a little gift, you know. So, as I have been kind of working on today's talk in my mind, I thought quite a bit about what Reverend Maureen said last week, when part of her talk, when she said that we are all made of star stuff. You know, people just say that, but she went ahead and explained it, that, you know, we're not just talking in a metaphysical way. She meant it as a cold, hard fact. That, you know, she explained how a supernova explodes, and then all of these chemical elements scatter across the universe and get recycled into worlds like planet Earth and eventually end up in our bodies. It's pretty amazing when you think about it this way. There's a idea that substance comes from space. And I actually went, after her talk, I went and looked up the NASA website, and they have, it's good, you know, it's not that technical because they have a whole educational page where you can choose. I want to know what a second grader needs to know, or I want to know what a sixth grader needs to know.
That was great.
It was good. You can get your own, you know, grade level explanation or go as deeply as you want. And as I was thinking about the scientific story of how things came to be, I was also thinking about this biblical story about how things came to be, you know, the story of creation in Genesis. And as I thought about it, I thought, well, you know, if you were really used your imagination, you could kind of see a little bit of similarity between the two. If you imagine that the biblical story was written a long time ago, before they had thought of telescopes or NASA or had these ideas, the authors still were able to come up with or intuit a story that had a sequence of things happening. So, of course, the one difference between the two is that NASA doesn't start by saying God created it all. It's more of a physical approach. But in the Bible, it's somewhat logical. You know, it says in the beginning, God created the heavens and earth, and then it goes on with this step-by-step process, explaining how water is separated from the land, and the day and the night got separated from each other. And then how the plants and animals and finally the humans came into being. So I do not take the story of Genesis literally. I just want to say that. But I did think it was fairly orderly. It did describe a step-by-step process. And what I noticed in thinking about it is that both stories, the scientific story and the biblical story, talk about how we came into being, how the earth came to be. And how things evolve is very interesting to me. There's a TV show called How Things Are Made. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it has episodes where they show you what's going on inside a factory. How do they make bicycles? How do they make glad wrap? How do they make shoes? So I like watching it. I haven't watched that much lately because during the pandemic I kind of watched a lot. But it's interesting, you know, and it's not boring. It's kind of nice. And things are made in a process. There's usually a sequence. First you do this, then you do that. Then comes what's next. You know, it's almost like according to a recipe or a plan that is based always on what we call natural laws. For instance, if you bake a cake, first you mix the ingredients together, Then you put it in a pan and bake it. You can't bake the ingredients first. You can't bake the eggs and then expect to be able to mix it in a bowl and come up with a cake. It doesn't work that way. Life is not as random as we sometimes say it is. You know, it's systematic, it really is. So how you make a cake or anything else is actually in harmony with these natural laws. And that's the how. But what about the why? Why you make a cake is totally up to you. You know, is it a birthday cake or is it a cheesecake? Whatever. You can decide to do it or not to do it. You decide why. So whether we think that a being named God made the first man, Adam, out of the dust of the ground and his wife, Eve, out of his rib, which I don't believe, or whether we think we evolved over the millennia from a supernova, which is maybe getting closer, I don't know, or whether we hold some totally other idea about how life began, all of these ideas are about how it happened. So that brings us to the question of why. Why did it start? Why are we here? And you know, for that matter, where are we? So I'm just going to tell you my opinion. And it's not an original opinion. I didn't make it up, but I do agree with it. And as you know, we've been studying in our class The Creative Process in the Individual, which is a book by Thomas Trower that greatly influenced what we believe here at our center. Now he said, the why. He said that everything is a result of the self-contemplation of spirit. And that now, we humans are also in a position to engage in our individual version of this self-contemplation of spirit, and that as we do this, we too are going to experience or are experiencing firsthand the creative process as our process. Remember I said there's a how, a process? Well, this creative process that we're talking about is the result of the self-contemplation of spirit. And that's why I called my talk today Centered in the Center. Because the all-originating spirit, if you imagine it, pure spirit, has to be infinite as well as eternal. And so being infinite, it must have an infinite number of sectors, right? And each of us, since we are an individualization of spirit, you know, and to try to visualize it, think of the ocean, a drop in the ocean. This drop in the ocean has the qualities, the aspects, the possibilities of the ocean, and yet it's not the whole ocean, it's only a drop. So we don't walk around saying we're God. We walk around saying, oh, I am an individualization of spirit. I am a spiritual being having a human experience. So each of us is a unique center in the infinite. We're not drops of water sharing the properties of the ocean. We are each centers of consciousness, sharing the properties of that all-originating consciousness. You could call it spirit or God. So the qualities of spirit, which include life, light, love, power, peace, beauty, joy, and the possibilities. It also includes the possibilities of making choices and setting things into motion with our thoughts, feelings, and actions. All of these capacities do reside in us, because we're made of spirit. So back in 1927, when our movement, religious science, was still new, our founder, Ernest Holmes, set out what we call a declaration of principles. And the very first one says, we believe in God, the living Spirit Almighty, one, indestructible, absolute and self-existent cause. Self-existent cause. This one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. The manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. So, in saying this, Holmes was also agreeing with Thomas Troward, who had written that since we recognize that we are conscious, and since we feel alive, it should help us realize that in the beginning, although there was no beginning, because we're always at the beginning, you think of an infinite, eternal beingness. Spirit, if you can imagine a point when there was nothing but spirit, it must have had a feeling of being alive all over. Infinite aliveness. But Troward asked, how could spirit recognize this, its own aliveness, if it was, think of just floating in a vacuum? Not what we believe. But he says it had to be a necessity for there to be something else. Just as if you want to see something, if you want to see a painting or really get a good look at everything, you can't have it this close to your eyes and see anything, right? You have to step back. There has to be a field of vision, a contrast. So Troward says that something else that enables spirit to be conscious of its own livingness is actually substance, the manifest universe. And that's basically what Holmes said too, that the body of God, the manifest universe, is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. So when I was reading it, I thought, you probably have heard the saying, I think, therefore I am. Have you ever heard people say that? So it comes from the philosopher Descartes. And I looked at it, I'm like, whoa, is that kind of what we're saying? And I was interested because originally he didn't say, I think, therefore I am. He said, I think, I am. Spontaneously, together. I think, I am. And that's what we're talking about when we say spirit created matter. It's like, I'm alive, I am. They're hand in hand. They're not really a process. And this is the why. The why is it's spontaneous, eternal, infinite, always ongoing, this beingness. So given what we believe, then the answer to why life happened must be that life, the universe, matter itself, all of universal substance is projected by universal spirit out of its feeling of aliveness. So what is this feeling of aliveness but the highest form of love? Troward and Holmes both claim that this self-contemplation of spirit, this self-awareness of spirit, brings forth everything through the action, the how of the creative process. So we see the creative process in our life also. You know, just by discovering we can think and that our thoughts, realizing that our thoughts do affect our feelings, our actions, and our experiences. You know, as we become more and more conscious and self-aware, then we ask these questions, why and how. So this is a little bit of an aside, but not exactly. If you could imagine a being, maybe a person, or that didn't have any way to hear sounds or even feel the vibration of sounds at all, could that being appreciate music? No, right? So then why do we have these faculties? Why do we have our senses? What does that mean we should be doing? Why do we have these abilities? I believe that is to enable us to be aware, to experience, to be able to discern and appreciate life in so many of its forms and ways, through sound and sight and feeling and vibration, and through our emotional capacity for love, all kinds of emotions, not just the happy ones. We have senses, and we have amazing ability, you know, that people refer to as intuition or imagination. I believe we've evolved these abilities because they enable us to explore the universe, to engage with the universe, and to bring activity into life itself through our thoughts, beliefs, and actions. This is the role that we play in the universe. We do it all the time. It's what we are. We're consciously setting life into motion. Really, I think, you know, we do it unconsciously as well as consciously. And we often talk about awakening to our abilities, awakening to our spiritual magnificence. I think it is awakening to our ability to use the creative process, use the sequence of all the hows, how to do this, how to do that, in a conscious way. So I believe now it's actually time for us to wake up and to consciously declare the good that we wish to see in our lives and in the world, and to begin to accept that we are the ones who have to make decisions about what we want to see happening. So what we call God, or the all-originating spirit, is, you could say, benign, loving, beneficial, but it's not actively deciding what is going to happen in our world today, or what is going to happen in our lives today. That is now our role. And we have a duty, I believe we have a duty to stay as positive as we can, to live in harmony with life, with natural laws, and not to fall into the trap of thinking and behaving in negative ways. You know, I do it. It's not like I don't do it, I do it. So, you know, and we have to constantly pull ourselves out of these holes that we fall into. Because consciously or unconsciously, we are using the creative process all the time. And Troward said we sometimes are using it in what he referred to as inverted or negative ways, like, you know, going against the flow instead of with the flow. And he said that when we do that, we're setting into motion mayhem instead of joy. Problems, they pop up. And so these problems pop up and they can be reminders, oh, get back on course, right? It's just like when you're walking down a path, you get into the brambles and it's like, oh, wait, where am I? I need to watch where I'm stepping. I need to stay on this path that I have chosen. Because negative thinking, and a lot of it is just unconscious, but even so it can have an effect. On a very micro, tiny scale, it can result in personal unhappiness, illness, lack of resources, a lack of freedom. But then, let's remember that on the macro scale, and I'm talking about, as a group, our group thoughts, it can result in war, starvation, depression, even tyranny. We see these things on the news, and we see that when hate and fear have kind of, let's call it their heyday, then what happens? Something is set into motion, a manifestation of what I think of as reckless harm unfolds, just like a hurricane. And then people do come to their senses again, and it happens because over and over we see that the world settles back into peace. Peace is the natural, harmonious state. And so the truth, I believe, it is very good news that love really does make the world go round. That in a way you could say it's almost self-correcting. That when we flow in the direction of love, when we let our lives flow along in the direction of love, our lives unfold harmoniously. Although when we go against the flow, for whatever reason, things happen. We may hit rough spot after rough spot until we can once again become more harmonious. And that's what a lot of our spiritual practices do. They bring us back into our center, our feeling of being centered in love. I mean, the whole story of the life of Jesus of Nazareth was really to help us recognize the importance of love and faith, to trust in the truth. So what should we do when we feel challenged by life? The same thing as always. Remember to stay centered in the center of love. This is where you will find you are strongest. This is where you will find you are powerful, where you will have your wisdom at hand, be able to make those great decisions. The truth is there really is a power for good, that we really can use it as we choose. So just remember that your dreams and your desires really do matter. They matter a lot. So think about your personal dreams when you were a child, or that you may now have if you are a child. Children generally dream about their futures with an idea of how wonderful it's going to be, right? When you were little, you didn't dream that you were going to be broke or sick. No, you dreamed you were going to be a fireman or whatever, or travel the world. We need to trust life today just as truly and as faithfully as a child. Your dreams and your decisions have just as much power now as they ever did. It's never too late to make new choices or to recommit to something that maybe you once chose, but it kind of got faded into the background. So I just, in closing, I wanted to just give an example of the power of an idea. Because we talk about our individual ideas. But I want to just have you think for a moment about the talk that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. gave that we generally refer to as the I Have a Dream speech, in which he declared, now is the time to make real the promises of democracy. Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate valley of segregation to the sunlit path of racial justice. See, he was making a declaration. He had an idea, he announced it, he set that idea free. Now, he wasn't the only one who had this idea. It was a shared idea. And from him saying it, from other people saying it, this idea has rippled out through our whole culture. And while you could say, well, we're not quite there yet, we can also say, we've come a long way. It is in the process of manifestation. It is in the process. The how is happening because of the why. The why of a decision, a thought, a realization being put into, planted into the mind of really spirit itself, our shared mind. So dare to dream. Understand that thoughts do actually become things, not necessarily overnight, but sometimes overnight. We don't have to be famous like Dr. King in order to use the creative process. What we have to do is make decisions, declare it, and know that it belongs to you because you belong to the universe. You are centered in the center of love, and with love, all things are possible. So it is. Thank you.
So it is.
Thank you, Reverend Kate. That's great. Billy got to choose the songs today, so.
It's my birthday.
Because it's your
That's
birthday song.
right.
I can do whatever
All right.
I don't want to hurt anybody.
Hey. Sometimes I'm right, I can be wrong. My own belief is in my song. The butcher, the baker, the drummer, and then makes no difference the group I'm in. I am everyday people. I am everyday people. There is a green one who doesn't like the blue one for being such a hot one who's trying to be us anyone. Different strokes with different folks. So on Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Oh, we got to live together. I am no better, and neither are you. We are the same whatever we do. You love me, you hate me, you know me and me. You can't figure out the bag I'm in. I am everyday people. You feel it? Yeah. I am everyday people. There is a long hair who doesn't like the short hair for being such a rich one who will not help the poor one. Different strokes for different folks. So on, Scooby-Dooby-Dooby. We got to live together. Sing with me. I am everyday people. There is a black one who doesn't like the white one, who doesn't like the red one, who doesn't like the yellow one. Different strokes with different folks. So Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Oh, we got to live together. Here we go. I am everyday people. Hey, I am everyday people. One more time. I am everyday people.
That was fun.
That was fun. You made a good choice, Billy. Okay, now is our time for consciously giving back to the center. So I know that some of you give monthly or through Venmo, and some of you give here and now. So let's just take our contribution in mind, into our hearts, as we visualize the truth that giving and receiving is just like breathing in and breathing out. We follow the law of circulation, knowing that good has a beautiful cycle, and that as it circulates, it multiplies and creates so many blessings. I know this is true. I give thanks for this good, and so it is.
So it is. That was good.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
I just want to remind everyone that we are having a food drive. So thank you for bringing some food items today. If you have anything in your cupboard, please bring it next week or the week after. We'd like to get everything gathered up before Thanksgiving so that it can be delivered. If you don't have extra things in your food pantry and want to make a contribution to interfaith services, we can also take care of delivering those at the same time. And so, any other announcements? Well, we have class. Oh, and we have cake, a very beautiful cake. So, thank you to our birthday boys. We have birthday boys today. That's nice.
I'm not leaving.
So before we have our closing song, I would like to give just a closing spiritual light treatment. So I invite you to know with me the truth that this is a universe of spirit, that everything is set into motion through this creative process in which we as individualizations of spirit ourselves are constantly engaged. Since this is so, I understand that I can now declare my word on behalf of each and every person here, on behalf of those who were unable to come, on behalf of our community, our nation, and this world, as I declare and know the truth that there is good for us, that each person who appears to be suffering from any trauma, illness, or lack or limitation is living under the same sky of goodness, the same world of possibility, and that they and we are surrounded and supported by love in all we do, in all we are, in all we put out into the world and all we receive back from the world. This love, which generates good in all its forms, is powerful. It is the truth. And it is flowing strongly, beautifully, covering us all with comfort, with security, with peace, allowing us to be nurtured, allowing our lives to blossom brilliantly, beautifully, powerfully. I give thanks for this love. I give thanks for this truth. I give thanks for this good. I know it is done in mind, therefore it is done. So I turn this treatment over to Spirit, confidently, joyously, thankfully, and invite you to join me in acknowledging the truth that it is done by saying together with me, and so it is.